live from MAPA's Naylor Theater. Community members can tune in on Akaku platforms.
This is KAKU 88.5 FM.
I love you.
The voice of Maui.
You are listening to the Student of Wealth Radio Hour on KAKU 88.5 FM.
Aloha, Maui. How is everyone doing? Happy Thursday. It's your girl, Aviella Aloha, and I am here with a very special guest. But first, today's broadcast of Student of Wealth Radio Hour is underwritten by Student of Wealth Hawaii, where we believe wealth is more than money. Through financial education, project-based learning, and purpose-driven conversations like the one we have today, we help individuals grow in all 7 dimensions of wealth while preparing for the life transitions that shape their future. To explore our educational resources, upcoming webinars, and wellness conversations, visit studentofwealthhawaii.com. That's studentofwealthhawaii.com. I have a question for you this morning. What happens to a dream when the body carrying it begins to break down? Yes, I'm talking to you. What happens to a dream when the body that's carrying it begins to break down? Can a person truly build wealth while living in a constant state of depletion? What if exhaustion is not merely a scheduling problem, but a recovery problem? Aloha, and welcome to Student of Wealth Radio Hour, where we explore the frequency of 7-dimensional wealth: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, relational, and experiential. And last but not least, financial. Today's conversation bridges wellness science with stewardship vitality and the human capacity to continue carrying purpose with strength. Many people today are functioning while fatigued. They are parenting while depleted, leading while overwhelmed, working while mentally foggy, caring for others while privately running on empty. Yet few people stop to ask an important question: what happens to our wealth building capacity when recovery disappears? In today's episode, we are exploring how wellness recovery, stress, and resilience influence all 7 dimensions of wealth, and why supporting the body may be one of the most overlooked stewardship conversations of our generation. Our guest in the studio today is Dr. Carolyn Dean. She's a physician, a wellness educator, an author of over 50 books, and a passionate advocate for nutritional and cellular wellness. Her work has helped people around the world better understand the relationship between depletion, recovery, and long-term vitality. Welcome to Student of Wealth Radio Hour, Dr. Carolyn.
Thank you, Aviella. It's wonderful to be here looking at your shining face.
Oh, thank you. And I love what you got on. Miss Carolyn, you are styling and profiling. You got the turquoise. I see you have a little adornment there. I wonder where that came from.
Courtesy of Aviella.
So happy that you're here, Dr. Dean. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well, for those who somehow may not have heard of you yet or are not familiar with your work, who is Dr. Carolyn Dean?
Okay. Where do I start? And we have to make it quick because there's so much information that we want to get across to people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was interested in natural health and wellness and lifestyle in my teens.
Wow.
And I started, talking to people. Well, maybe you could do this, that. They wouldn't listen to me. So I decided to go to medical school and be a doctor, and then they'd have to listen to me. They have to. Yeah, so that was a long story. But then after medicine, right after medicine, I started doing naturopathic training. So I'm a medical doctor and a naturopath because my heart was always in natural medicine. And seriously, I thought after 10, 20 years after med school, I thought every doctor would have a wellness practice because it just made so much sense.
Sure.
People do so much better when they exercise, eat good food, and all the rest of it. But we took the dark side path.
What's the dark side path?
Drugs. Big pharma, medication. When I was in med school, our clinicians told us, you give a drug for as short a time as possible to be able to help lift a person out of their symptoms, and then their body recovers. Now we're taking drugs for life.
Wow.
And that doesn't help anybody but the bottom line of pharmaceutical companies. They make a lot of money, and okay, fine. If you're in the money-making business, then let's do that. But they're not thinking about how much that is affecting people and affecting their health. So my whole world is about, when I supposedly retired in my 60s, I started a dietary supplement company because I realized. Actually, Aviella, it was in 2008 during the economic crash. We've talked about that.
Yes.
I had been writing a wellness letter, an online wellness letter, and people started writing me and say, I don't even have time to read your wellness letters, let alone do the habits, perform the habits that you think will help me. Mm-hmm. Tell me what supplements to take. They were saying this. What can I take to? And I went to companies that make supplements. I had been doing AIDS and chronic fatigue research in Manhattan, and we were using Chinese herbs. I was potentizing these Chinese herbs into homeopathics, sterilizing them, injecting them into acupuncture points with a magnetic spin. It was revolutionary. But because it was injectable, it had to be in a doctor's office, and they weren't interested. So I thought, let me get the Chinese herbs, make them into capsules, and then put them on, do a protocol. So when I checked with a big company that makes capsules, they bottled them and ship them for you, I said, what happens when you bring Chinese herbs over and they have mold or they're infected or something's wrong with them? Oh, don't worry. We'll spray them with this and gas them with that and heat them up and do. They would kill the herbs to make sure that they were clean enough to pass the tests that said there's no infections, and maybe they would look for heavy metals. I said, okay. That tells me something, that herbs that you don't grow yourself can be contaminated or dead. And so one of the things I did, long story, came here to Maui, got in touch with an organic farmer, because I wanted to grow my own herbs.
Yes.
So that meant an organic, biodynamic farmer. And around the same time, I started the dietary supplement company because I didn't trust anything.
Sure.
And I knew things had to be food-based, well-absorbed. And in the midst of that, the miracles happen when you ask for them. I found a chemist who makes stabilized mineral ions out of mineral compounds. When you take a mineral compound, the body has a hard time digesting that. The two parts of the mineral compound, like the magnesium and the glycine for magnesium glycinate, they have to separate. Mm-hmm. And they naturally do that in a liquid, the liquid of the blood.
Yes.
So they'll, what we call, disassociate there's your magnesium, there's your glycine. But immediately they bind back up, either with the glycine or something else. They are not available for more than a fraction of a second.
I was going to say, well, how can they be absorbed if all this process is going on so quickly? Like, there needs to be some level of timing to give cells the ability, or organs, or, the body, whatever systems are being targeted, enough time to absorb.
Yeah. So it's a fraction of a second, and there's billions of these molecules, so they are getting absorbed to a certain extent. But what this chemist was able to do was stabilize that magnesium ion, so it stayed as an ion forever.
Okay.
We've done university studies. You shine a laser through this liquid. There is no material substance in the liquid because they're so small. They're at the ion size, picometer size.
Yes.
So boom, we had something that was readily absorbed. And in my personal health, when I was in Manhattan doing this work, I was doing a lot of morning TV shows. Random House asked me to write a book on magnesium. The Miracle of Magnesium. Yeah, it's the one before this condensed version of.
Oh, this is a updated version.
Oh yeah, this is 2005.
Okay.
So I said, how can I write a book on one mineral that's 300 pages? I started doing the research. Thank goodness that I was able to be online back in 1999, 2000. Wow. So I said, every one of these magnesium deficiency symptoms I have, from heart palpitations to leg cramps to headaches to insomnia to muscle tension. So I went out to get a magnesium supplement that was higher than my multiple, because I knew about vitamins and minerals. I'm a naturopath, for Pete's sakes.
Yes.
I'm taking my multiple, but I wasn't taking enough magnesium. I immediately was in the bathroom all day with the laxative effect. So in order to get rid of my magnesium deficiency symptoms, I needed something that I couldn't take. So I ended up spending years floating in Epsom salt baths and spreading magnesium oil on my body to try to deal with my symptoms until I found this chemist.
So it sounds like the beginning of your passion for problem solving this particular situation was your own need for a solution to your magnesium deficiency.
What is that phrase? Necessity is the mother of invention.
That's right.
And if I hadn't had all these horrible symptoms, I wouldn't have come across this chemist, supported him, got this product going. I never in my life thought I'd sell dietary supplements, but I'm the only one that could do it. And seriously, here I am, I'm 77, and I feel better now than I did when I was in my 30s.
That's what you're claiming, that age today?
Yeah.
Do y'all see this face? Do you see this vitality, this glow of skin? The teeth, the hair. Yeah. Wow, 77.
Yeah.
You're making it look like the new, 41?
That's cute.
Amazing.
Well, this is the thing. You said all the words, the strengthening and vitality and recovery. So the basis of what I do is you give the body, you give the cells the building blocks, and they will just flourish. And they will, from the bone marrow where we have the native cells, the germ cells we call them, the progenitor cells that go out, oh, your adrenals need some help. Let's make some cells and push them into the adrenal glands. It all comes from your cells. And if you don't have the building blocks for the cells, you're out of luck. Recovery, what do athletes do? They drink salt water with sugar in it. They're not recovering their cells with all the minerals that are needed. Mm-hmm. So the first mineral I worked on was magnesium, to help myself.
So you
very
are
selfish.
Magnesium queen, would you say?
And then I said, oh my gosh, you can stabilize magnesium. Let's work on the other minerals. So I put together a multiple mineral, and I found in my research 9 of the 12 minerals that I wanted to use make thyroid hormones. And the thyroid is so important for metabolism, for weight, for energy, and it's really depleted, especially in women when you have children, when you're pregnant. Because you have to grow the thyroid of your child. And if you don't have those minerals, you're not going to do what's best for your child.
Wow. So I've never, hold on, let's unpack that. I've never heard of that, because obviously motherhood, or the incubation of a seed to becoming a child, that's one of the most spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, relational, experiential processes that a woman can go through. So that in itself is 7-dimensional, as far as 7 dimensions of wealth. I've never heard it said that when a woman is going through that process, that her thyroid power, I'm going to say, is reduced in order to feed or grow or develop the thyroid of this being that's coming to life in real time. So with that in, first of all, because we're really big on clarity, can you just give us a quick understanding of the thyroid? What does it do? I want to make sure people understand what you're saying when you're saying it's being reduced, or its function is being reduced in order to pass that power on to...
Right. Well, excuse me. The way I learned about it in medical school was that in a pregnancy, you measure the thyroid of your patient several times. So it's like, oh, something's going to happen to the thyroid. We know that. So that's well known. But then what allopathic medicine will do is wait until the thyroid is totally punked out, and then they give replacement, thyroid hormone replacement therapy.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And mostly it's a synthetic thyroid, T3, T4, usually just T3. Excuse me, I've got frogs in my throat.
Me too. It's apologize. Maybe it's the air.
And what happens is, if you wait until the thyroid is really deficient and just replace one, you think of it, T3, T4, there's T1, T2, T3, T4. You're just giving it one little aspect. You're giving it a synthetic. You're not supporting the whole thyroid tissue. And what I found out when I created the Remite, which is my multiple mineral,
yes.
After about 6 weeks of taking it, I had been on Armour Thyroid for years, for cold hands and feet. And what the the thyroid does is it's for metabolism, for weight, for energy. In medical school, we had this horrible phrase about the thyroid. It's for fair, fat, and 40 women.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fair, fat, and 40. Thyroid.
Horrible.
We'll remember that, though.
Yeah, I know. So after about 6 weeks of taking my Remite, my hands and feet were warm.
Yeah.
You know, whereas they, even on the Armour Thyroid, they had been cold. So anyway, the thyroid is part of what I call the tripod, or there's even a table of hormones.
Sure.
We've got thyroid, adrenal, sex hormones, and insulin from the pancreas for blood sugar. And if one of those hormones kind of becomes deficient, it pulls down the others. So when women go through pregnancy and the strain of it and the stress and lose all these hormone potential,
Yes.
it pulls on everything else, and that can be like a postpartum depression.
Sure, that's a source of stress, it sounds
Yeah.
like, and that can show up in different ways for different women. So I love that. That actually segues into our spiritual wealth dimension. because at Student of Wealth Hawaii, we often say that purpose still requires stewardship. So I want to kind of look at this through the lens of the spiritual dimension of wealth. Dr. Dean, have you observed a relationship between physical depletion and a person's ability to remain hopeful, like disciplined, or spiritually grounded, or even connected to their purpose? And if so, can you share a story?
Right. Well, stress gets to people, and they express it in different ways. When someone has a bad relationship or goes through divorce or cheats on their partner or whatever, they can put themselves in like a guilty prison.
Oh, yeah.
And they can deplete themselves, diminish themselves as, some sort of retribution. They punish themselves.
Yes.
And so I may be off topic, but I'm just thinking how you have to forgive yourself. But you have to have the strength to forgive yourself, the confidence. Okay, let me say it this way. This past year, an assistant and myself, Julie, we did a 6-month study using my formulas. Mm-hmm. We pulled 10 people from the community, put them on 7 of my formulas for 6 months. And every one of these people expressed hope, feeling that, oh my gosh, here are their words, I thought I was stuck in a place that I'd never get out of. And depression, anxiety, lack of confidence, all these things were expressed by these folks. And when their body was supported at the cellular level, and I'm not talking about anything esoteric. Yes. I'm just talking about we had them on magnesium and potassium, the multiple minerals, and vitamin C and vitamin D with D3, K2, and omega-3 fatty acids.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, and the basic stuff.
Yes.
Sidebar here, what I find is when people are magnesium deficient, their symptoms are called diseases. Anxiety, depression, leg cramps, headaches.
All things that you can take some pill for.
Yeah.
Right.
Or in my case, the liquid minerals. So looking at the basis of this study, it was the minerals. Magnesium is responsible for 80% of known metabolic functions. 80%.
So it sounds like if you would address, maybe this magnesium deficiency, that in itself could probably address a lot of what you may be experiencing internally. Like it would kind of self-correct.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, and self-correct is awesome because the body wants to be healthy. It wants to be happy. It wants to survive. It wants to thrive. It wants to reproduce. It wants to do all these things. So if we think that, I can't do it, we have to get on board with our body, what it wants. Yes. So with this study, it was just fascinating. What I was looking for was the slowing of aging.
Ooh.
Because what's happening now, I'm very unconvinced that the blood tests that we have these days, the research trials that they have on nutrition, I think they're bogus.
Sure.
When I was working with these people on the study, I started writing a book. It's called The Tarnished Gold Standard of Nutrition Research. Because they don't know how to research nutrition, because they'll take one little vitamin or mineral and they'll take a vitamin that's synthetic, give it to someone and say, well, that didn't work. Because the vitamins and minerals work together.
Yes.
And that's what we proved with this study. And at the same time, the there's I won't mention the brand name, but a well-known synthetic senior supplement, a multiple. They took that multiple and cocoa powder for some reason and gave that to 1,000 seniors and studied them for 2 years to see if they could affect their age. Because it's the big testing now is called epigenetic testing.
Yeah, your markers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to get your biomarkers of all kinds of health things, but also your methylation pathway receptor sites and how it affects your age. Well, they had this big, hoopla conclusion study.
After 2 years, what was the result?
They slowed down aging by 4 months.
4 months?
Oh my goodness.
2 whole years?
And then only 4 months. What did our study show? We have people who slowed their aging from 4 to 6 years.
And just for our curiosity, can you repeat again what exactly was involved in the study in terms of the supplements that you chose for the 10 participants? I imagine the Remag, the Remite, I've heard you speak about it.
Right.
What else?
Well, and let's just say the Remag, it was only 600 milligrams. It wasn't a huge amount. The Remite, very low potency multiple minerals, but because they're 100% absorbed, I shouldn't say 100, you can never, 99% absorbed, then the body was being affected positively. And the potassium, 300 milligrams. The other one, Realign, that's our B vitamin.
Oh, B.
So it's 4 methylated Bs and 4 food-based Bs, low potency, gets right to the cells. And in that formula, Realign, I have 2 amino acids, methionine and taurine. I put those in because they're sulfur-based. In the liver, we have sulfur detoxification pathways and methyl detoxification pathways. I wanted to hit them both.
Okay.
Because the body's doing this all by itself, but it needs those building blocks. So it's like, take the building blocks and then do what you want to do. Whereas a lot of people, when they think, I'm toxic, I'm going to flush this out, I'm going to give high dose this, I'm going to take a weekend. It's not like that at all. It's a daily amount of these formulas. So we've got those 4, D3, K2. Vitamin D is so important. I mean, we're finding out that more and more that sun is important, but people don't get good sun all year round, and you don't want to take too much sun. I mean, when I moved here to Maui almost 20 years ago now, I stopped sunbathing because I just didn't want to ruin my skin.
Yes.
So we get some sun in our morning walk. And then the rest of it, we do have to supplement, and it can be like 5,000 to 10,000 units. And there is a blood test that you can follow to see. I don't usually recommend a whole bunch of blood testing because what are they testing, Aviella? They're testing the sick population. Oh. So the blood tests are going to be crappy. Yeah. You want optimum. And that's why I like the epigenetic testing, because I think they're looking for what's optimum, how much methylation pathways are you opening up. So then back to the study, back to the hope and the confidence. These people were slowing their aging by years. Sure. And they were getting their confidence. They were speaking up to their, whoever was attacking them at school or at work, these personal references that you can't get in one of these research studies. Mm-hmm. A research study, usually in a university, there's some undergrad, here, Mrs. Take this pill, see you. Nothing, no interaction. Whereas we knew all our subjects, and they'd come every week to the Tuesday market in Wailea and say, I'm doing so fantastic, I can't believe it, I'm sleeping for the first time, I'm this and I'm that. Losing weight and losing a lot of the puffiness, the eyes getting shiny. Yes. People are glowing when they get the right nutrients.
It's so true. And I actually have a testimony about that as far as the reduction in the puffiness in the face, losing weight. Of course, I am a customer now. I'm on the Remag. I'm on the Remite. And as someone who is taking it, I mean, the first thing you kind of notice is, oh, something's changing. Like, you can feel a difference. You don't know what to call it on the inside. But then it's okay. I'm frequenting the porcelain gods a little more, but what that means is we are flushing things out now. What's happened is metabolism's going up. And then also, in terms of my own spirit, because I am a 40-something-year-old professional woman that has to manage a lot of different, income sources and things that could create stress for me, I was having trouble with the recovery. And I noticed that I have more energy. I noticed that I felt well. This is how my spirits were lifted, because I could feel that my body wanted to get back to its mojo,
And how can you measure that? That cannot be measured in a scientific study.
Yes.
Which is where this protocol is important in a clinic situation. We want doctors to take it up and put their people on this whole protocol and just watch them get healthy. But you said something that reminded me. With magnesium, it gets into the cells, into the mitochondria, and helps the Krebs cycle make energy. ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is the energy molecule, but the real chemical formula is Mg-ATP. Seriously, you cannot have energy without magnesium. So that's what your energy is coming. You get energetic during the day, and then your muscles are relaxed enough that you have a deep sleep. But then when it comes to the brain, this is just mind-blowing. In the brain, the cells of the brain are called neurons, and each neuron has 2 million mitochondria. This is a lot.
Yes.
The heart cells, each cell has 5,000. I used to think there was more magnesium in the heart than anywhere else, but it's in the brain. And so when people don't have enough magnesium, I'm sure this is where the dementia, even the Parkinson's, the Alzheimer's, could it be a magnesium deficiency? Because who's getting enough magnesium? Everybody says, well, I'm taking magnesium, but, it makes me run to the bathroom, so I only take so much. And they're missing the fact that if they could take enough, they wouldn't have. I have 65 different diseases that could be magnesium deficiency.
Wow.
65 diseases. So with people who are getting enough magnesium, they avoid taking other drugs. They don't run to, what's in the biohacking sphere now? Oh, you got to take methylene blue or chlorine dioxide.
Oh.
All these very serious antioxidant chemicals, which, they may help, detox and all the rest of it, but they're not a building block. What we're dealing with the right formulas, which is the basic vitamin C, D, omega-3s. My omega-3s, most of them come from fish oil, and there's a lot of krill.
Excuse me.
A lot of krill omega-3s. Krill is what our humpback whales eat up in the Arctic. So if they're farming all the krill for our stupid supplements, what are the whales? They don't care. So I make my omega-3s from clean algae. Algae is what the fish eat to make omega-3s. Seriously.
So straight to source.
Yep. Omega-3 algae, and a vegetarian then can use this formula, and that's we use along with the K2. The fat-soluble vitamins are very important to make the membranes of the cell. The cell membranes will get leaky if you don't have your omega-3s, your vitamin D, your vitamin A, and your vitamin E. So in the omega-3 algae, I put vitamin A and vitamin E.
I love that.
So there.
Yeah. Optimize everything.
Multitask.
I love this, and thank you. I appreciate you speaking about this and uncovering for us the specific things that work for the body and how they work for the body, because there's the body has a rhythm, right? And so to know what type of notes create each rhythm, the notes, for the sake of this illustration, being the different types of supplements. You know, on a musical staff, you have quarter notes, you have eighth notes, you have whole notes. So that has to do with order of rhythm and melody. You know, how you create it depends on the order of the notes.
And
right?
frequency.
And frequency, yes, repetition.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And I hope this is helpful to all of you who are under the sound of our voice right now. This is Dr. Carolyn Dean, in case you're just joining us. And she is the creator and the magnesium queen, but the intellect behind RNA Reset, a whole suite of supplements that are natural, that are sourced ethically. And I am so thrilled to have her here as we talk about physical health and how to optimize it. It's our responsibility to be stewards over our bodies and to take care of our bodies.
You mentioned something again that triggered. In terms of optimizing and credibility and all, there's something that came to the fore recently. It's a company called SUPCO, SUPPCO. And the website is supp.co, I believe. They are looking at making trust scores for 160,000 supplements. There are that many supplement companies and supplements out there that throw themselves at, they market themselves, but can we trust them? And they analyze each dietary supplement on 30 different questions, I guess you could say.
Well, how good did you score your supplements using the SUPCO measurement system?
Of course.
So tell us, how did they come out? How do they rank?
They rank from 1 to 10. Our whole company formula is 9.25
out of 10.
Out of 10.
And is U.S. or international? What is this?
It's kind of international. Whatever is sold in the States is tested. And our magnesium is 9.75 out of 10.
9.75 out of 10. Okay, if somebody listening out there, this is amazing.
Yeah. So what you do is you go to your cabinet right now and go to SUPCO and type in each supplement you're taking. You'll get the score. You see, you have to do heavy metal testing. You have to have third-party testing. You have to have your ingredients come from America so that we know they're safe. 30 different factors that go into this.
And you end up with 9.75 and 9.25 collectively.
Yeah.
That's amazing and very notable, everybody. We want premium products that will do the thing, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
And so that's why I am so excited about the work that you do, Dr. Dean, Miss Carolyn. I don't know which one to call you, but I am so grateful to even be blessed to become aware of these things. If I was not at the market in Wailea as a vendor, I may have never come across your work. And if I never come across your work, I may not be in real time working on optimizing my mitochondria function and my metabolism so that I can live and age gracefully and well. And I appreciate that. And this kind of is a good segue into the next dimension of wealth, which is mental emotional. How emotional is it for a woman to be thinking about her body, how it looks, how it feels, and actually trying to communicate to someone where that information is not only received but welcomed. Like, we don't have conversations as women a lot about our bodies and what we're feeling. To your point earlier, we can actually turn into a self-shaming thing and mentally and emotionally get kind of bogged down because we don't know what to do, particularly as we go up a level in years past and our hormones and all of that kind of stuff starts to do its own thing. It's difficult to figure out what is happening with our bodies. Like, is it recovery? Is it weakened? Is it something I'm doing am I eating the wrong thing? You know, there's so many questions that you ask yourself to try to figure out, what can I do? So with all of this, it can create a sort of feeling of burnout.
Well, what's going on, especially with social media, marketing, biohacking, is they look for clickbait, and they'll clickbait people on their weight, on their food choices, on their guilt. And they pull people in on that and feed into the negativity so that they can offer, maybe they have a product or a seminar or read my book and learn how to whatever. So there's so much of that going on.
Sure.
I do weekly podcast, online podcast. So I keep in touch with all of what's going on and critique it. I just shred it apart.
Sure.
And I shred articles as well, scientific articles. And what I see is so much clickbait trying to grab people with half truths. Because what people are saying, there's some truth there, and you don't know what's true and what's not.
Sure.
And so that's where I sort of dig through all that waste, and say to people, like I've said several times already, take the dietary supplements that support your cells, and your body will start cleaning things out and getting rid of the toxins.
Yeah.
We have found after a couple of months of our customers taking our magnesium, we have people who come back to us and say, well, I was feeling so good, I was sleeping, I had good energy, my muscles were relaxed with the magnesium, and now I don't feel so good.
I'm exhausted.
I've got a coated tongue, I've got brain fog, I feel bloaty. And we say, oh, your body is detoxifying yeast overgrowth. Candida albicans yeast. Women know about this. Yeast infections aren't just, in the private parts. Yeast can be throughout your intestines. Because what we've done in our society with antibiotics, high sugar intake, simple carbs, stress that produces cortisol, we grow yeast beyond what our large intestine can hold. So the yeast in the large intestine that are there to sort of chew up waste and get rid of it, they serve a purpose there. And they're in a budding form, little round buds. But if they keep getting sugar from the diet, they'll grow up into the small intestine, poke holes in it because they change from a budding stage to a thread-like stage, poke holes and cause leaky gut.
Oh, that sounds fun.
We hear about leaky gut, but then what's causing it? Nobody's looking at yeast overgrowth. So I focus on yeast overgrowth because what did I have in my childhood? Sugar, up to here. Mercury fillings. Mercury is like an antibiotic that kills good bacteria. Antibiotics and the birth control pill. So all those things grew my yeast. And with yeast, when it's overgrown, it's always producing waste products. But when there's a lot of waste products, we're looking at alcohols, aldehydes, all kinds, 78 different waste products that get absorbed through the leaky gut, cause brain fog, itching eyes, itching ears, itching nose, itchy throat, itchy mucous membranes. They can contribute to fungal nails and a whole bunch of gas and bloating in the intestines. And that makes people feel run down, can't cope, my brain's too foggy, and it's just yeast overgrowth. And by taking the magnesium, it started their detoxification. And then we say, oh, okay, then you can go on our silver. We have a stabilized Pico Silver. And I for myself again, I made something called Flora Revive, which is antifungal, really gentle antifungal and probiotic. And so these two, I take them every day because I'm not going to stop eating sugar. I had the most amazing chocolate cookie at Bahamas yesterday.
That's my favorite sweet. I haven't had it in so long because I'm trying to rebalance what's going on in my body. Oh, I'm so jealous.
I know.
Like, I love chocolate chip cookies.
I think that's probably the mucus today. Seriously, sugar causes mucus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a lot of information, everybody, and I hope that you're still with us because Dr. Dean is dropping gems about how we can optimize this vessel that we steward. Without the body being optimized, it's hard for us to actually carry through our purpose, our attention, because it's affecting not only our spirits about things, our mental and our physical health. It's affecting finance also because not having the ability to go out and do what you may need to do for work because you feel something here. And here's the big thing. When we talk about being students of wealth, a lot of people always think of financial first. But what good is it to have created all of this financial wealth if you have to trade it all in to get healthy? Like, if that's how you have to spend it, that's really unfortunate. What if you took a different approach, got on a pathway that would allow you to steward over your body on a daily routine to where as you continue to walk towards your purpose, whatever that is, you have your body as a partner in your purpose instead of an assailant that is trying to volley for your energy. Because exhaustion, again, stress, these are things that can take us down. It doesn't matter who you are. And a cellular, what I call it, cellular
perfection? No.
If you could
we want it.
Yeah, that's the goal, right? So that's what's nice about your work, Dr. Dean. You are teaching people how to actively, systematically, intentionally is cure too strong of a word?
Well,
optimize themselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
So here's two things. With the cells being happy, wholly healthy, with the right nutrients, you don't need to have stimulants. We've done customer surveys in my company, RNAReset.com, and they say, I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink coffee. I don't feel the need for those anymore because my body's satisfied. I don't have to go for massages because my body's relaxed. I don't have to go for chiropractic. Now, I love chiropractic and massage, but people tell us they save money when they're healthy on our nutrients.
Absolutely.
And then, when you're healthy, you want to work, you want to engage, you want to get out there. People who are healthy cannot sit still and just sit in front of the computer or whatever. So we've created an environment where people can get healthy, save money, get out and work. They have this saying, see something, say something. my motto is see something, do something.
That's right.
If you see something that you want to do, you just do it. If you see something that's out of place, you fix it. And you can only do that when your eyes are open
And you're aware to
and
start with.
you're looking around. I mean, it's a bit of a brag story here, but
Wait, before you get into that, because we have 6 minutes left.
Ooh.
I want to ask about the effect of exhaustion on relationships, because I would submit that sometimes one of the most expensive things in a household, in a business, whatever, in a family, is unmanaged exhaustion. And all these things that you're describing, it comes back to a feeling of exhaustion. People feel exhausted, but it's actually, it could be any of the things you've been describing so far. But when you don't have the knowledge to know what it is, maybe you'll just recognize the exhaustion part. So what relationships do you think tend to suffer the most when people lose their cellular capacity or reduce their cellular capacity due to a possible deficiency of magnesium or other minerals or supplements?
Well, yeah, one emotion feeds into the other. If you're feeling exhausted and your partner says, "Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't," you're going to snap.
Yeah.
You're just, it's like, don't you see that I'm so depleted already? But they don't. I mean, you're holding that in, and you've done 10 tasks that day that aren't acknowledged. Well, you didn't do this, or the door wasn't closed, or you forgot to turn off the light. You will snap if you're in a state of exhaustion and irritability. Your body is just wired.
Yeah. And what happens when both of you are? Right? Sometimes it takes an extra amount of energy to override what you really want to say for the greater good of the team, if you will. Sometimes it takes more energy, not less. So if all parties involved are exhausted, can you see how this can become a monumental problem over time that will effectively undo a lot of the things that you've been working towards?
Awesome point. I've never really explored that, but it's a perfect ride right into divorce court.
Oof.
Right? Because
it's interesting how many people may just be exhausted or have a magnesium deficiency, and they end up in divorce court. Now, we need to have a talk about that very soon. I've never heard anybody say that. Now, what if we could save marriages with magnesium? And optimize mitochondria and cellular function. Who's ever approached it from that naturopath, homeopathic approach where you're actually using your mind, right, to take these things that you're learning about and apply it to real world situations. Health is not just what your pant size is. It filters into everything. There's 7 dimensions of wealth, everybody, and our relationships are so important. I mean, how many sayings do they have? Do you want to know who you'll be or where you'll be in 5 years? Look at the people you're around. Those are relationships. How well are you nurturing those? The speed of trust. Somebody trusts you, and in a day of exhaustion, you can tear that whole thing down because you don't have the capacity to be the person that they've grown to trust. And unfortunately, sometimes that's hard for any of us to forgive when someone steps out of character. Nobody asks, how are your magnesium levels today? Nobody's going to ask you that, right?
No.
So I hope that this has been helpful for everyone, because the magnesium deficiency is a huge thing, and it affects so many facets of our lives, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, relational, experiential, and financial. Because how many people like to call in for work because they can barely move? How many people like to miss an opportunity to speak or an opportunity to do something you've always wanted to do because you're not feeling well? Yeah. Well, these are some real world applications of how this magnesium deficiency could show up, as well as the other things. Magnesium is huge, but we also talked about potassium. We also talked about the Realign, the B vitamins, that has a lot to do. We talked about D3 and the deficiencies there. All these things play together like an orchestra, right? And what happens if you're in the orchestra and you have all your strings but no wind instruments, no percussion? Guess what? The orchestra is not operating at its full capacity because it doesn't have all the things that it needs. So today's conversation, I hope, reminds us that wealth is not merely about accumulation. It is also about having the strength, clarity, and vitality to fully experience life, purpose, relationships, and contribution. Because ultimately, we all want to contribute something to this world. We want to leave our stamp here. Now, to explore today's wellness conversation, any educational resources and featured links connected to this episode, I want you to visit Student of Wealth Hawaii for more information. And I love your products, Dr. Dean. Is it okay if I, spread the word and, connect people to you, like that come to the website, connect them to the products that you offer? I kind of want to be like an affiliate or something like that. And
okay.
Maybe we can do some talks or something together.
Sure, I'd love to. You've got great energy. You're shining the message, and that's what I love.
Amazing. Well, we are out of time for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at Student of Wealth Radio Hour. And remember, recovery is not laziness. Restoration is not weakness. And stewardship includes caring for the mind and body that's carrying your assignment. Until next time, continue building wealth with wisdom, rhythm, and purpose. And optimize your mitochondria. Aloha.
The Lahaina Energy Partnership is inviting Lahaina residents to a free community co-design workshop.